more of a cat. We're going for a fox. Okay? Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're doing a little thing I've been seeing going around on the YouTube. And it's like this foxy eye thing where it's like you look like you got foxy eyes. Anyways, I've been seeing people do it and I want to try it because I don't typically do, you know, angular eyeshadow. I'm more of a rounded kind of girl because I think that I have difficult eyes when it comes to these kind of things and they never really turn out the same. And I like symmetry, but I'm just not symmetrical. And if I could get a little help over here, that would be great. So anyways, I wanted to try this. I also wanted to play with this hot pink lipstick, so I thought it was like perfect. Let's try the Foxy trend. Let's play with the hot pink lip. So if you guys like this look, you want to see how I did it, just keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Join the York fam. I mean, I would really love for you to. It would kind of be hurtful if you didn't. Yeah, I'd be kind of hurt if you didn't want to hit subscribe, but please. And then we can get right into the video after you do that, okay? Don't forget to go check me out on Instagram. Here's my handle. Go check me out. Let's be friends because I'm still kind of new over there, okay? I'm new to the social medias. And let's get foxy, girl. Okay, so we're doing kind of a little foxy cat-like eye today. So I'm going to start with a little bit of concealer and I'm just going to put a tiny little bit on my lids. I don't want it to look like too blanked out because this is supposed to kind of be like effortless, but like foxy at the same time. I've been seeing this a lot on YouTube and I've been wanting to try it, but you know, I have kind of what you call problematic lids. It's kind of hard for me to do kind of foxy cat-like eyes because my lids are so hooded, so I typically go for a more rounded eye look, but you know, it just looks so good on other people that I have to try it. I wanted to try it. So I went ahead and did my brows off camera just to save time, and I used the NYX little micro brow pencil and I used the shade Ash Brown. Today I'm going to use this Morphe palette. It's the 35R palette and I picked this just because it's a bunch of browns, neutrals, and it's perfect because we're not really going for a big eyeshadow look. We just want that nice subtle cat fox snatched effect going on. So I'm just going to start with a, like kind of a light shade. I'm going to pick up this third one right here and a big fluffy brush. And I'm just going to start right on this outer corner of my eye right here. And everything's going to be like flicking upward towards the hairline. So I'm just going to kind of start right there and just start building like a subtle shadow. Don't poke yourself in the eye while you're doing it. And whatever's left on my brush, I'm just going to kind of run it all over just so it gets rid of that kind of concealer look. Now I'm going to pick up a little bit of a smaller brush and we're going to go a little bit darker. So I'm going to pick up this one right here. It's just a pinch darker than that first one that we used. So I'm going to pick up this one and just a tinier brush. It's still quite fluffy. You can see the difference right there. Just a little bit more narrow, not as blown out. And do the same thing. Go back with the first brush and kind of blend it out. A nice little subtle snatch, you know? I think that's what looks so cool about these like fox eye things that I've been seeing is because they look so natural, almost just like, oh, my eyes naturally just, you know what I mean? It's not like when you put a black wing on, that's like obvious, you know? That's more of a cat. We're going for a fox. Okay, all right, so next we're gonna go even smaller with our brushes. I'm gonna go kind of back and forth between these two brushes, this like flat definer brush, and then this one's like a fluffy brush, but it's tiny, you know what I mean? It's much smaller than what we've used. And I'm gonna go a little bit darker with the shadow. I'm gonna go in with this one right here. So we're going a little bit smaller with our brushes and a little bit darker with our shadows. And I'm just gonna start kind of pressing it right there on that outer corner where we've been building up all that color. I'm gonna start building that up and just kind of flicking it that way. This is cool. I'm feeling this because usually I don't dig like angular looks. Why is my eye watering? Why is my eye watering? You can stop it right now. And I'm only taking all of this shadow literally like halfway. Like everything's kind of on the outer corner to give that foxy look. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. So now I'll take the small little tiny fluffy brush and go back to the shade that we just previously used, dip a little bit of that in there and kind of buff over the darker one and just probably keep doing that. Back with the first brush, smooth over it. I'm gonna kind of just sweep a little bit of color, you know, through the crease, but typically we want to go like this, but with this one we're just, everything's kind of out here. Don't worry about like underneath here. We can always kind of clean that up when we do our concealer and our face. So just work on getting them the same depth and darkness. Okay, so I think I wanted to go just a pinch darker. So we did this one. Now I think I just want to come down here to this like, just like a charcoal gray color and just keep that right down close, right at the lash line, just to kind of intensify. I'll take this fluffy brush and go back in with that first little shade that we use right there and just kind of go over everything. So like that's not like a lot of shadow, it's not a big super intense thing, but it gives you that like fierce thing going on. Okay, so I think that's good for now. We'll come back to the eyeshadow once we get our face done. So I'm gonna use the Too Faced Hangover primer right here. I got this in my Ipsy glam bag, and most of the time I'm too oily for this, but you know, I don't know, I've been a little dry, so we're gonna give it a go. It smells delicious, like coconuts. My face has kind of been needing the moisture, so that feels great. That feels really great. Okay, so for foundation today, I wanted to kind of mix between these two shades of the Maybelline Superstay foundation sticks that I have. I have two shades, and one's a little light and one's a little dark, so it's like, let's do a little Scott Barnes action. If you know what I'm saying, then you know what I'm saying. I'm just gonna kind of put this one more in the center and the other one more on the outer. Then I'll take the darker one, do a little of this number. So I'm just going to start with the lighter one. This is the Morphe M439 foundation brush, and boy do I love it. I needed a smaller brush for this because, okay, earrings, okay, you've got to go. I'll put you back in when I'm done. I've really been wanting to try that whole Scott Barnes technique thing. It looks so interesting. That's J-Lo's makeup artist, for any of you who are living under a rock. He just does makeup kind of like differently. He does all of his highlighting, like concealer, contour first, and then he puts the foundation on over top of that, and it just looks like I need to try it, you know? My arm is hurting. When your hand and your arm starts hurting, that's when you know that like you're doing it right. You're going places. Okay, and because I'm so dry these days, which is so unusual for me, I'm gonna take a little bit of Fix Plus from MAC and a sponge and like, you know, hydrate. I'm gonna use my NYX HD Concealer. This is one of my faves. It's in the shade CW01. We need to snatch the fox up, okay? I'm gonna use the pointed side of my Morphe sponge and try to get right up next to our Foxy shadow there. Okay, then I just want to put a little bit in other areas of the face so that we don't just have like a highlighted under eyes. We want to be highlighted everywhere. Just basically all down the center of the face, just so that it balances out the highlight. If you're going to use a little bit of a lighter concealer, you want to put it other places besides just underneath your eyes. I was going to use a like loose setting powder today, but I think I just want to use my little Wet n Wild contour highlight because I just love this setting powder color. It's like a perfect little banana shade. It just brightens so beautifully. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this Ofra bronzer, and the shade is Bronzer Americano, and I got this in my Ipsy glam bag 1 month, and this freaking bomb brush right here, like look how floppy and flimsy. So anyways, this is a kind of shimmery type bronzer, just the slightest bit, not much at all. Next, for blush, I wanted to use this Tarte blush in the shade Kisses. It's very pink, has a little bit of shimmer to it. I'm going to use my Jaclyn Hill Morphe brush, the JH06, my everything brush, and apply that. I thought it would be really cute since we're doing like a hot pink lip. Oh, in case I didn't tell you, we're doing a hot pink lip. Okay, and I think I want to save highlight until after we get the eyes done. So let's go back into our palette. We're basically going to do the same thing that we did on the top to the bottom. So I'm going to start out with this kind of medium fluffy brush, and I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Start with this third shade right here, and I'm going to concentrate most of this shadow out here on the outer, just like we did before. We didn't really put much in here. It's all like a outer, you know, smoky fox illusion. So I'm going to kind of mimic the same on the bottom and connect it out here. And I'm only going to go about halfway in, just like we did before. I'm going to use this little flat smudger brush, go a little bit darker. I think I'm going to go in with this next shade that we used, just like on the top, and just kind of pat that right on the outer corner. I'm just going to slowly build it up. Oh, she Foxy. I'm gonna go to my flat definer brush, and we're gonna pick up that dark purpley brown that we used, and I'm just definitely gonna keep this one only on that outer. I'm basically just tapping it right there and kind of like wiggling it down. Then I'll go in with my favorite little teeny tiny brush, the M506, yeah, M506, and do a good smoky blend, keeping everything pulled out this way. So I feel like the lashes is really going to help give that cat eye effect. Okay, I'm gonna pop on a little bit of the Maybelline Falsies mascara. Stuff's good, y'all. Okay, and while my mascara dries, I'm gonna put on a little brow gel. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow gel, and it's almost out. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna do to kind of customize my lashes to accentuate the fox eye even more. So I have these lashes. I've already worn these one time, so they're already trimmed lashes. They're like trimmed off to fit my eye. So I have these little pieces, as you can see, that like I have always like left over. They're like laying around from where I trim the lashes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take those little pieces, match them up with the outer part of the lash, so that the outer part of the lash is a little bit thicker. As you can see, I just laid them on there, and you can see it accentuates and thickens up that outer corner of the lash. So that way it also accentuates our little shadow smoky foxiness that we have going on. So I just laid them right on top, and I'm gonna pop these on, and I will be right back. So all we have left to do is put on some highlight, because we're definitely missing out on some highlight, and our lip. So I want to use something that's kind of pinky. So I wanted to use this Loreal Lumi Shimmerista. It's like a loose highlight. I haven't used this in a minute. I have to be kind of tan to be able to use this, so I'm just going to use this in the cap because this is very intense. Okay, and then I want to use just a pinch of this Wander Beauty highlight. It is like so pretty. This is in the shade After Hours. I just want to do a pinch of this just at the highest point right there of my cheeks, just because it's a little less pink. I'm also going to use this on my nose. And then I think I want to put this same highlight right here, right in my inner corner. Okay, so time for the fun part. We're doing a hot pink lip. I know. I'm gonna use this Huda Beauty lip contour in the shade Trophy Wife, and of course it needs to be sharpened. And really it doesn't matter if it's like exactly the same color, because I'm gonna cover it up anyways. I just like to line my lips just to give myself a guide, because with bright colors, if you kind of mess up, it's kind of obvious. It's not like a nude, so I like to give myself a little color in the lines type thing. Okay, so I figured out the one other time that I played with this is that you want to do as little coats as possible. You want to try to get it in one swipe, because it doesn't really build on itself really good. Oh, by the way, let me tell you what this is. This is the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit in the shade Oh My Dolly. Love the little doe foot. It kind of has a little curve to it. So yeah, this lip is definitely affordable. It's Wet n Wild. It definitely isn't like the best quality. Does it work? Yes. You know, it's not as opaque on first swipe. It's not perfect. I'm sorry if it's not perfect, but hey, it's not the worst. It's not the worst. And for like $4, it's like, hey, come on. I'll just reapply you. You cannot hold me down. You cannot stop me. I will make you work. Watch me make it work. This is the finished look. I hope that you guys like it. I actually like it. I kind of really love the like cat eye fierceness on the outer and keeping the inner like pretty nude and blank. I mean, it's kind of cool. This little fox trend that I've been seeing on YouTube is kind of cool, and I don't hate it as much as I thought I might, because I typically go for very rounded looks, and this was, you know, the opposite of that. I like it. I think it turned out super cute. What do you guys think? Let me know down below what you think and what you want to see from me next, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.